You've made more misstatements in a shorter period of time than I have ever heard.
Please correct
Well,
me,
if I'm
because
worth
it's all
$8 million,
public.
excuse me.
It's all public.
Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right? Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
If I'm worth $8 million, that's good news to me. I'm not aware of it. That's a lie. All right? Number two.
Part of public records.
You're probably looking at some phony right-wing internet stuff. It ain't true.
No,
All right? You should read beyond that. It is not true.
it's
All
part
right?
of public records.
No, it is not public record.
Okay. Well, you made
It is not
$1.7 million on your book.
public record.
You made
All right? It is-
$1.7 on your book.
Excuse me. I've got the mic now. Number
you not
two,
make the statement
I
that if
have
you want to
the
be a
mic
millionaire?
now. I've got it.
Did you
had
not
your
make
time.
that statement?
You had your time.
Okay.
All right? You're not telling the truth. Second of all, you got no evidence that I have ever said that all CEOs are corrupt. I have never, ever said that.
Probably not all, but every time you talk
probably
about
not,
CEOs,
then
you do
shouldn't
say that.
Say it. Furthermore, what this hearing is about is whether or not you talk about being pro-union. Really, what this hearing is about is whether workers have the constitutional right to form a union. The evidence is overwhelming, not from me, but from the National Labor Relations Board, is that time after time after time, despite what Mr. Schultz is saying, Starbucks has broken the law and
Bernie Sanders has spent years criticizing wealthy CEOs and big corporations. But during this explosive Senate hearing, Markwayne Mullin fired back with a question that completely changed the conversation. Within minutes, the focus shifted from Starbucks to Sanders himself, and the exchange quickly turned into a debate about success, wealth, and hypocrisy.
Union, as a CEO, you're anti-union busting, or you're for union busting. I'm not saying you're anti-union. I'm just saying that it seems like to me, as a former CEO, not nearly at the success that you were at, sir, and I'm not trying to defend your company because, quite frankly, politically, we're on totally different ends of the spectrum. And so the irony of this hearing is actually kind of funny. And I do want to point out some hypocrisy about this hearing with the chairman. And it's not trying to get personal. All this information is going to be very public. But the fact that you can't defend your company because you want to have a good relationship with your employees and you believe in employee value, which we all do. Any CEO knows that the success of our companies are based on our employees. We get that. But it seems like unions today, all they want to do is fight with their employees or their employer, the same employer that is hiring those team members, and that friction causes a very volatile and tough workplace. And if the company and the employees aren't in the same boat, rowing in the same direction, then neither one can be successful. And unions themselves, if you're part of a union, you can never be an executive, you can never be a manager, and never be a CEO. And if you can't be an executive or a manager or the CEO, then how are you actually going to implement the changes that the unions want in those positions to begin with? And it seems like they actually hold back their team members. Mm-hmm. But I take offense to the chairman pointing out that all CEOs are corrupt because they're millionaires. You know, if you make a lot of money, you're corrupt. It's bothering to me because, Mr. Chairman, you yourself have been very successful. Rightfully so. Glad you have been. You've been in office for 28 years, and you and your wife have immersed a wealth of over $8 million. And in fact, your quote on being wealthy and being a millionaire was, well, if you write a bestseller, you can be a millionaire too. If you can be a millionaire, why can't Mr. Schultz and other CEOs be millionaires and be honest too? If that's the case, then why is it that Mr. Schultz, who actually creates jobs and a bestseller of a book, isn't creating any jobs? Why is it that he's corrupt and you're not? Why is it that all CEOs are corrupt because they're wealthy, and yet our chairman, who is wealthy, and I'm glad you are, you're not? Guys, the government's role is to create an environment for entrepreneurs, for go-getters, for world changers, to be successful in life. The U.S. government is designed for people that want to succeed can. We can go out and achieve anything that we choose to. But when you lean towards socialism, what you think is government is the answer and unions are the choice. And if you're against us, then you're dead wrong and you must be corrupt. That's not the world we're living in. That's not the America that we believe in. And I'm not against unions. If you want to choose to be in a union, be in a union. But if you choose not to, then you choose not to. And that's why I'm good with right-to-work states. That's honestly why unions actually thrive in Oklahoma, and we're right-to-work states, because it creates a happy environment and a good environment, because employees get to choose what they want to be part of. And the employer can have a say in it. What is wrong with choice? What is wrong with employees having a choice? What is wrong with the CEO defending his company and openly saying that he is providing good benefits and paying higher than everybody else? But yet, if you're not part of a union, you're also paying starvation wages. What hypocrisy? What bias? Chairman, you are chair of the Health, Education, Labor, and Pension Committee. We shouldn't have a biased approach. We should have what's best for America and all those that want to thrive and work in it. And so while we politically disagree, Mr. Schultz, I applaud you for your success. And I applaud all the CEOs out there for their success and all the employees that work hard, that's in the same boat, that's making their companies great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, let me respond. The senator did mention my name, I think. And I think you got an all-time record here. You've made more misstatements in a shorter period of time than I have ever heard.
Please correct
Well,
me,
if I'm
because
worth
it's all
$8 million,
public.
excuse me.
It's all public.
Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right? Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
If I'm worth $8 million, that's good news to me. I'm not aware of it. That's a lie. All right? Number two.
Part of public records.
You're probably looking at some phony right-wing internet stuff. It ain't true.
No,
All right? You should read beyond that. It is not true.
it's
All
part
right?
of public records.
No, it is not public record.
Okay. Well, you made
It is not
$1.7 million on your book.
public record.
You made
All right? It is-
1.7 on your book.
Excuse me. I've got the mic now. Number
you not
two,
make the statement
I
that if
have
you want to
the
be a
mic
millionaire?
now. I've got it.
Did you
had
not
your
make
time.
that statement?
You had your time.
Okay.
All right? You're not telling the truth. Second of all, you got no evidence that I have ever said that all CEOs are corrupt. I have never, ever said that.
Probably not all, but every time you talk
probably
about
not, then
CEOs, you do
shouldn't
say that.
say it. Furthermore, what this hearing is about is whether or not you talk about being pro-union. Really, what this hearing is about is whether workers have the constitutional right to form a union. The evidence is overwhelming, not from me, but from the National Labor Relations Board, is that time after time after time, despite what Mr. Schultz is saying, Starbucks has broken the law and has prevented workers from joining unions to collectively bargain for decent wages and benefits. Senator Baldwin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Schultz, I want to begin.
What started as a hearing about Starbucks and unions quickly turned into something far more revealing a glimpse into two completely different visions of America. On one side was Bernie Sanders, a politician who has spent decades arguing that large corporations and wealthy executives are a threat to working people. On the other side was Senator Markwayne Mullin, who challenged that entire worldview with one simple idea: success is not a crime. And that's exactly where this hearing took a dramatic turn. Instead of talking about how businesses create jobs, generate investment, and drive economic growth, the conversation once again revolved around unions, corporate wrongdoing, and the familiar argument that wealthy business leaders need more scrutiny. For Bernie Sanders, that argument has become a political trademark. The problem is that many Americans no longer buy it. Because while Sanders talks about billionaires and corporations, millions of Americans are trying to become successful themselves. They want to start businesses, build careers, create wealth, and provide better lives for their families. They don't see success as something suspicious. They see it as something to achieve. That's why Mullin's response struck such a nerve. He pointed out what many critics view as a glaring double standard. When politicians earn money from best-selling books, speaking tours, or decades in public office, it is often described as success. But when entrepreneurs build companies, create jobs, and become wealthy, they are frequently portrayed as villains. Why? That's the question hanging over this entire hearing. Because the reality is simple. No government program ever created the prosperity that comes from millions of individuals taking risks, investing capital, hiring workers, and building businesses from the ground up. Every paycheck exists because somewhere, someone decided to take a chance. Every growing company started as an idea. Every job started with an employer willing to invest. Yet Bernie Sanders' message often sounds like success itself should come with an apology. His critics argue that he spends more time attacking the people who create wealth than encouraging more people to create it. And that's why this exchange mattered. It wasn't really about Starbucks. It wasn't really about unions. It was about whether America should continue rewarding ambition, entrepreneurship, and achievement, or whether successful people should constantly be treated as suspects in the court of public opinion. Markwayne Mullin made his position clear. He believes that job creators deserve respect, not automatic suspicion. He believes that prosperity comes from growth, innovation, and opportunity, not from constantly attacking the people who build businesses. And judging by the reaction to this hearing, a growing number of Americans seem to agree. Because at the end of the day, the American dream was never about punishing success. It was about making success possible. And that may be the biggest point Bernie Sanders still doesn't seem to understand. What do you think? Did Markwayne Mullin expose a flaw in Bernie Sanders' approach to economics? Or was Sanders right to focus on corporate power? Let me know in the comments below.